Hello there. Welcome to day 23 of my 30-day video challenge. And today I just want to recap. It has been 23 straight days, and I have become somewhat more comfortable recording videos, but it's still finding the topic, writing the main points, recording the video, doing the whole editing and uploading. It's still, it's not easy for me still. So I look forward to the next 7, 8 days before it gets a little bit more easier, and I'm sure it will continue to get easier over time. And I want to get more skills also, not just record the way I'm recording nowadays, but also write tutorials and math, science tutorials, and things like that. That was my original intention to record these videos. Anyway, but today I want to talk about the importance of sharing goals with other people and how that can help in achieving the goals. The other day, I was talking to a few friends. We went for a movie and we were having lunch, dinner before the movie. And we were talking about if sharing goals with other people is helpful or not. And for me, it was very clear that it helps. I wasn't quite sure how. That took me some time to formulate that. But one thing that one of my friends suggested is that by telling goals to other people, they feel constricted and they feel lack of freedom in doing whatever they want to do. Now they feel like they have to do certain things because they were told other people. And for me, that was a eye-opening experience, because that is, I consider that to be a good thing, that you feel a little bit of a social pressure or a little bit of an accountability, but that was not true for them. Also, my experience has been different in the sense that whenever I share my week goal, month goal, year goal, whatever, I tend to feel good and tend to make progress. I'm usually a reserved person. I don't really share these things with people, but whenever I do, it's helpful. So I'm leaning more towards sharing nowadays. And second is that what I mentioned earlier, that if you feel you have to make progress and steps towards a goal by telling somebody, that I think is a good thing. But again, some people might feel uncomfortable with that lack of freedom or loss of freedom. One example of that lack of loss of freedom for me happened on, I don't remember the day, day 14 or one of those days where I had not made a video by 12:30 in the night, like shortly past midnight. And because I'm doing this challenge as part of a social group, I really felt like I should do that. And I did make the video that day, and I'm glad I did, because once I let go of one day, it'll be hard to continue the day after. In any case, in the rest of the video, I want to talk about 3 points or 3 benefits that I feel one gets, or I get for sure, by sharing my goals with people, with the social group. One of them is that I feel more accountable by sharing the goal. And sometimes I actually ask people, can you hold me accountable? This way, I do lose small freedom to decide on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-to-hour basis what I need to do, what I want to do. but I feel like it gives me big freedom long term of developing skills, achieving goals I want to achieve, things like that. For example, by giving up small freedom to decide if you want to work out on a day to day basis or not, you give up the small freedom, but you gain a much bigger freedom of superior health. By giving up small freedom to decide if you want to play piano every day or not, you gain the big freedom of one day, a few years down the road, effortlessly playing piano. By giving up the small freedoms of splurging money on things that today seem like I want to spend money on those, by letting go of that small freedom to splurge money, I can get long term financial freedom. That is the big freedom. For me, I let go of deciding every day whether I want to meditate or not. That was about 100 days ago. I let go of that freedom. Now I do meditation every day for an hour. There's no decision there, but I enjoy the freedom of a bit calmer mind, really a little bit calmer mind. In the long run, hopefully a lot more calmer mind. By letting go of small rejections, the fear of rejections, we can get big freedom of an anxiety-free life, or a life with less anxiety. So you see, it's a trade-off between small freedoms and big freedoms. Small freedoms are just when you build habits, you follow up on those habits, you just have to do those habits, you want to continue developing those habits, but you gain the big freedom of how those habits relate to your long-term goals. So that was the accountability part. The second part, I feel like social sharing of goals gives me, is that by sharing my goals with others, I tend to get help from others. By sharing the goal, realize that others can help because they now know what I'm trying to achieve. I'm usually, again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm usually reserved. I don't share what I want to achieve because I'm afraid people might make fun of me if I don't achieve it, especially, or might think, oh, I think of myself as I can achieve something like this big. But by sharing with people, the impression I've built is that instead of making fun, actually they tend to help. Again, you have to be careful who you do share with, but the social circle I'm working with is very supportive usually. One example was when I wanted to make tutorial videos. I shared with a friend that how I'm making a video nowadays, and my long-term goal is to actually make tutorial videos and those kinds of videos. And then he himself uses the technology to collaborate with his peers, online whiteboards, and how he can make videos. And it was super helpful to get a first-hand recommendation of what I can use and what technologies I can use. Of course, I can do this by searching on the internet, but a personal recommendation is a good way to get started. I also shared a few months ago, maybe a month or two ago, with the folks from CGC, my goal of learning piano or being better at musical instruments. And they asked me, what are you doing about it? And they held me accountable to a certain extent. And now I'm taking piano lessons and I'm practicing piano every day. A few years ago, I shared with a few friends my long term goal of doing long silent meditation retreats. And I had no idea where to go for doing those, especially in the area we are working in, the Bay Area. But I had heard was, oh, you can go to India, some ashram and do silent meditation, but I wanted to do something local. And then within a few weeks or maybe a month or so, I came across a friend of a friend who was doing Vipassana meditation for 10 days silent meditation, and I got a recommendation for that, and I've done 2 courses since then. So you see, sharing others, you get to learn about resources that were not available earlier, or you were not aware of them earlier. Of course, you can help in these cases yourself by searching on the internet or other means other than sharing with people. But the fact is that we don't, or at least I don't. And these goals keep going in my head instead of me taking action on them. So lack of time is a real thing. Of course, searching and finding these recommendations takes time, and through friends, the help and recommendation come a lot more easily. Now, the next example or next reason I see for sharing goals with people is that it's just more fun. It is less stressful because I'm not keeping some information to myself. I'm able to share my experiences, especially I'm working on a goal for some time and it is taking some my mental cycles. It's just fun to share it with friends. And I just feel more authentic as a result. And some of the energy that feels stuck by not sharing, it just seems to be flowing, and I feel more in tune in conversations. Of course, if you share with the critical people who are critical of you, then it can be difficult and actually can be counterproductive to share your goals. So you have to be careful. But finding some people, a few people you can share with who can hold you accountable in a very supportive environment, that is great. Actually, in the long term, even the critical people or critical comments are also helpful, because that's when you really get to see the other side of the story, where what happens if you don't achieve the goal? What happens if you waste a lot of time but don't get where you want to go? And it's good to keep those in mind also, and be strong in your mind to be able to tackle those criticism and come out strong. And also, for me, there's a lot of freedom that comes by not keeping things to myself and sharing my journey with friends, with people, and not just the destination. Not just the destination, once I've reached it, I announce, so I've reached this goal, but the journey of achieving is actually also fun to share. So that is all I have for today. So today we talked about the usefulness of sharing goals with people, the 3 reasons we talked about, that it by letting go of, so sharing goals with people makes you more accountable, and by letting go of small freedoms we can achieve big freedoms in life. By sharing goals with people, more help seems to come our way. People know what we are trying to accomplish and they can help. And third is that it's more fun and it's more authentic to be able to share. So that is all I have for today. I hope it was something you find here that was helpful. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will see you later. Thank you.